Hello everyone, I'm Jeff Stanley with Standley Handcrafted, and today I wanted to go over a topic that's been talked about in the past. I do have another video on this one, but I wanted to go over it again just because it pops up so much in the DIY Facebook group, and especially for beginners, and that is flashpoints. I also wanted to make kind of an update on this video just so that it moves kind of higher up in the video kind of list that I've got. A lot of people ask about this one. There's a lot of confusion on this one, so I wanted to go into kind of some specifics, some definitions, and kind of some thoughts on this one, just to help people out that are just now getting into this, and some people that have been in this for a while. This is another one that definitely confuses them also. Now again, some of this video is taken with a grain of salt. These are kind of some of my thoughts on this one, but the actual definition of flashpoint, there is no grain of salt with this one. I'm going to go over the definition of flashpoint, and this one is not my thoughts on this. This is exactly what this exactly what this is. This is the basic dictionary definition of flashpoint, so there's just no getting around this one. Flashpoint is, it says number 2 in the definition, chemistry, the temperature at which a particular organic compound gives off sufficient vapor to ignite in air. So basically what that means is any chemical. It's not just oils, fragrance oils, it's anything, even wax. Everything has a flashpoint. And basically what that is once the compound gets heated up to a certain amount, it starts to let off vapor. And basically when that vapor gets into the air, if it gets near an open flame, like if you were to light a lighter, or if it got near just a fireplace or anything like that, the vapor would actually ignite in the air. And a lot of people get confused with this one because it's listed on the bottles. So I've got 2 bottles right here. They're both Candle Science, and the reason I picked these is because the flash points on these are 2 very different ones. This is a Candle Science Fireside, and I think you can see it right there. It's 225 degrees. And then I've also got Candle Science Rosemary, which is 138 degrees. Now, a lot of beginners, when they get into candles, they think the flash point is when you add your oils to the wax, and that is absolutely not the case. And again, this is one of those things, this is not my thought on this one, this is exactly what it is. The flash point has to do with the vapor that gets released from the oil. So a lot of people will heat their waxes to, like the Fireside, to 212 degrees. That's when they add their oils. And then the other one, 138 degrees, the reason why you don't want to pay attention to flash points when you're adding these oils is because certain waxes just won't go down to 138 degrees, so there's no way you can add that oil at 138. So something like Parasoy IGI 6006, that oil starts to solidify at 155 to 150. So if you let that cool down to 140, 138 degrees, it's going to be closer to a solid form when you add your oils, and it's just not going to work. And again, there's no danger at adding your oils at certain temperatures to the wax. As long as you're adding your oils and they're not near an open flame, which of course most people aren't, they don't have open flames near their wax and near their candles. Even if you're using a gas burner, you're not adding your oils to the burner itself or when the wax is on the burner. You're turning that burner off, you're pulling the wax over, and you're letting it cool down a little bit before you add your oils. And again, adding your oils at different temperatures. If you're adding the rosemary, which is 138 degrees flash point, if you're adding that to your wax at 170, 180, you're not damaging the oil, you're not burning off the oil, you're not doing anything different, because that's not what flash point is meant for. And like I said before, even the wax has a flash point. Now the wax flash point, I'd have to look at the tech sheet on that one, but I believe 464 and 6006, it's up around like 400 degrees, a temperature that you're never gonna get your wax to, but even wax has a flash point. So basically, again, what that means is when the wax gets up to a certain temperature, really hot, it's gonna start to let off vapor. And of course you can't see it, it's vapor, and it's gonna get into the air. So if you, again, were to light a lighter near that, it would combust and it would basically burst into flames. The only time you actually need to pay attention to flash points is if you have your oils near an open flame. You don't want to have them near open candles just because oil is flammable. But that's the same with anything. It's the same reason you're not supposed to smoke when you fill up your car with gas. And that you can actually see. So if you're, next time you're filling up your car and you hit the gas nozzle, unless you're in Oregon, then you don't get to fill your own gas. But if you're out there, basically take a step back and you can see the fumes or the vapor from gasoline kind of escaping into the air. So if you were to walk over to your car and light a lighter near all those fumes that you can clearly see, it would ignite. And that's basically what the flashpoint is. There's a little bit more to it than that, obviously, but basically breaking it down to real basic terms, you don't want to have your oils near an open flame. Adding your oils, like the rosemary at 138 degrees, adding that to a wax that's at 160, 170, or 180 degrees is not going to be a problem. It's not going to ignite anything. It's not going to damage your oils because there's nothing there to make the oil or the vapor combust. The only other time that you need to pay attention to flashpoints is when you're shipping. So if you ever go to an oil company, again, like Candle Science, there are certain oils that they ship from the North Carolina warehouse, and I live over on the West Coast, or they have it, or if they do have to ship it to me, they can't ship it through the air because when you ship the oils in airplanes, it gets extremely hot in the cargo area. So a lot of those oils can't be shipped through air. They have to be driven. Now, this one is definitely a hotly debated topic. A lot of people will go back and forth on the flashpoints. A lot of people think that they do make a difference when you add them to oils. I've never seen anything like that. I've done a lot of different testing. The only thing I would tell you is different oils definitely perform better when you add them at different temperatures of the wax. So something like Very Vanilla is a really thick oil from Candle Science. And when you add that one, you definitely want to add that at a much higher temperature in the wax, even 190, 180, and keep that one somewhat high because it's a thicker oil. If you let the wax cool down too much, it doesn't bind as well as it does at higher temperatures. So that's the only thing you're really gonna see the difference in. So if you pick up something like a hydrangea, I think is a real thin oil, and you can pour that out, you can see it. So adding something like that at lower temperatures is going to behave better than the Very Vanilla at those same lower temperatures of the wax. So you'll see a lot of people talk about that one, and when they add their oils and different oils at different temperatures, that's just going to be the blending and the oil itself. And again, getting into the thickness or the thinness of the oils, but that has nothing to do with the flash point of the oils. So I'm going through, I'm trying to rack my brain for the questions that were asked on this one. I think that kind of covers it. I basically wanted to do an update on the flashpoint one just because it popped up in the group in the last couple days. So I wanted to cover that one again and give a little bit more insight as to when and why you should pay attention to that and when you don't need to pay attention to that. And of course, just highlight this one mainly for the beginners jumping into it, because everybody, when they jump into it, they look at those bottles and they see that flash point and they definitely just assume that that's when you're supposed to add your oils. And that can definitely mess a lot of people up depending on the wax that you're using. So again, if I glossed over something, which of course I absolutely do in every single video because I try to keep these as basic as possible just to get the main point across. If I missed something that's important or that you think is important to add to this, please ask in the comments down below or comment in the comments down below, and I'll try to go through, update, and respond back to every single one of those. And again, you can always reach out to me through any of the social media platforms I've listed down below: Instagram, Facebook, the website, my email address if you want to send me a message, and of course the DIY Facebook group, which is growing every single day. So definitely jump over there. If there's something in my videos that you're just not getting, you can usually find it in that group as well. There's a lot of very helpful people there. And even better than that, there are people over there that have differing opinions of mine, which is incredible. My opinion is not, and again, it's an opinion, is not always the absolute best way to go. There are a lot of different methods, a lot of different ways to go about these things. So it's a good idea to jump in there and kind of see what other people are saying or thinking or doing as well. And if you like the video, give it a thumbs up, and thank you for watching.